I'm bringing to you the story of Capita.
I keep telling our team almost on every other call, we are not a company born in the cloud. We are a company born in a lockdown.
Capita, but you have Q in your Capita. Why? Is this some astrological
No.
to it?
You know, G is taken by Gmail, I is taken by somebody, E is taken by somebody. We said, why not Q? It is rarely used. Curiosity with a Q is an interesting thing. Now, UPI created a brilliant thing in India with payments. If we can build a stack that digitizes equity, and that kind of thing, everyone becomes an owner, everyone knows what it means to be an owner in a private enterprise, an idea, then that's I think the bigger purpose.
I'm so excited to bring to you the story of a product startup from the region, and I would say from India, from Southeast Asia. Brilliant product which all of us, and you'll agree with me why it is brilliant during the course of this interview when you get to know. Everyone in the startup ecosystem, in the venture capital ecosystem will find it so useful. And I sometimes wonder, why didn't we have it? Why didn't we have this product before? But thanks to Ravi and the team that he's built, I'm bringing to you the story of Capita. Ravi, tell us, what got you to start Capita, and tell us about the product.
Thank you, Shraddha. As an investment banker for over 17 years, I had seen this problem being experienced by founders who I worked alongside. Founders of young companies, founders of late stage private companies. Company exists in a private form for a very long time, and its ownership is managed not on systems. And this problem was being solved in developed markets, and we are becoming a very exciting startup ecosystem in this part of the world, and it's high time this ownership gets managed on systems. And we felt this was a problem. We faced the problem together as a team, and that's how the team got together, and we decided we'll go after solving this problem, and we found ourselves a 15-year journey here.
Wow. Two things we discussed before our interview. One is that I'm very excited the way you built the team. And sometimes it's so important to understand that when you build outstanding world-class product, then it's the team. You know, you talk about teams, but the way you built it. So I would love that you share with us how you went about building the team. And the second thing is, you know, the thinking through of the product, because it's extremely holistic. So if you can take us through what all Capita entails.
Two very key questions, I think, which define our very existence. So first, about the team. I think you can think of the founding team as a banker, an investor, and a technologist, each one of us with 20 years in the industry. And so after building and carving out niches for ourselves in our industry, we felt there was a problem where all these three skills could come together, and it was convincing enough that we could plot a second half of our careers in that space. That's a little bit about the founding team. So we worked as a founding team on the product with about 3 developers and built a product, getting customer feedback, investor feedback, and all of that for 12 months. And then we raised our seed round of funding.
So you're a pandemic, like this is pandemic baby, a pandemic startup.
I keep telling our team almost on every other call, we are not a company born in the cloud. We are a company born in a lockdown. And that also meant we built a virtual organization over the last 6 months of actually adding to the team. So we are a 30-member team in 20 different cities across the region, which is a testimony to itself, a company born in a... and
they're from very small towns also.
We have actually one of our senior developers is in Gadchiroli in Maharashtra. I don't think you would find many companies hiring developers in Gadchiroli. We have team members in Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Patna. We have a nerve center in Hyderabad where the CTO is based, but we are a distributed team. We have team members in Pune, in Bangalore, which is a startup hub, so we need a presence here, and Chennai as well, which is a SaaS capital.
You know what, Ravi, before we continue, I have to congratulate you here. I know it is not an easy task. Of course, pandemic has accelerated it, so now there is an acceptance. But the way you got your team together in a lockdown, it's phenomenal.
It's trial by fire. I would like to take credit for it, but we had no other choice. And then we found talent in all these places, and nothing should stop a company today from getting the right talent wherever it's available. And so testimony to my co-founder and CTO, Vamsi, who actually built the product in a distributed virtual team where a developer cannot interact with another developer unless he's on a Teams call or a Zoom call. But we managed to do it, and it's full credit to that engineering.
You know, it's such a powerful story, and this is the new trend. This is and new entrepreneurs coming and making it happen, because today now you can't say that geography boundary or anything is a constraint, and still there is a constraint, and you manage to stitch it all together.
Absolutely. Sometimes, there are days when we feel nervous about this. We are a distributed organization. We don't have an office. How are we going to build culture in this place? Culture is derived from actions of founders, actions of senior employees. So we felt as long as our actions demonstrate our culture, it should be, whether it's digitally, transmitted throughout the organization or virtually transmitted around the organization. It's at the end of the day your actions. So we do have a challenge ahead of ourselves. It's intimidating sometimes, but we are up for the challenge.
Oh, you will do it. You've managed so many milestones in the lockdown. Now tell us about the product, because we did see the product before the interview. Tell us what has taken, what were some of the thoughts, because it seems like extremely well architected and it has a lot of components in it. Tell us about it.
There are three different key aspects around the product, and that will stitch together on who will benefit from this product. The first thing is ownership of private companies, which is typically a cap table. So the cap table has to be managed on ownership of company, needs to be managed on systems. That's part one. Second, employee stock options. Employees are owners of a company, so integral part of your cap table, and therefore every employee should have transparency on what an ESOP means, what happens when I leave, what's the value, and so on. That's part two of the problem. Part three of the problem, I'll put it where any innovation happens. Let's take a financial innovation, startups are the first to adopt it. But when it comes to the share world, startups and private companies were having paper share certificates and mature companies have digital shares. I don't think we should be sitting and having a conversation 5-7 years down the line where any private company or any startup should have paper share certificates. I think we will go after these three set of problems, and that's how this weaves together the ecosystem. So a primary persona with which we built the first version of the product is the startup, but ultimately our product should benefit a startup, the CXOs, CFOs, head of HR of the startup. It should benefit investors, it should benefit employees, lawyers, company secretaries. So we're building a product that benefits the ecosystem, and that's how I think we will solve this problem at a comprehensive level.
And if I have to say what I found very, very, very strong and appealing, and if I have to very simplify it, is that as an entrepreneur, for me, I get my cap table. I see it like it's a dashboard, and I see it. It's like, Google Analytics, you can see your numbers of your page views and the traffic that you're getting. Here you see every shareholding, and you also see the ESOPs that you've given. And what also was extremely powerful is that everyone in the company, every team member in my company can see their own ESOPs. Today. It's bringing total transparency.
Yeah, transparency is one part, analytics is one part, financial modeling around this is one part, all records in one place. It's a simple thing, it sounds simple, but all your grant letters, all your share certificates, they're all in one place. It's a click of a button, it's on the system, everyone's looking at the same thing. When you have it on spreadsheets, it's sent on emails or WhatsApp messages, you're often looking at multiple versions. Today, you have a chance to actually everyone look at the same thing at the same time, same set of numbers, and run analytics. Because we came from banking background as well, we're building in complex modeling into this, which means tomorrow you want to run deal scenarios, you want to compare two term sheets, you want to think about your next financing round, which are founder top of mind issues, you can solve for it. Another top of mind issue for a founder is the ESOP is valuable. I want my employees to know how valuable it is. As a founder, and I'm sure this applies to you as well, you want your employees to know what equity compensation means, what's the value proposition, and that's how this will trend, and therefore it becomes very important that there are tools to communicate. If you're using spreadsheets and paper-based systems and not systems that are solving this comprehensively, we are not doing justice.
What you said rings so true, and it's so ironic also. You said we are startup world, and everything is in actually spreadsheet, right?
Yes.
And certificates and all. I'm sure every founder who's listening to this would realize the amount of paperwork one has to do around just the shareholding and ESOP. So brilliant, and I would urge everyone to please experience the product, and you'll know What a phenomenal thought through product Ravi and his team have built.
Thank
Now
you.
with that, I also want to ask you is that not only you build the team, not only you launch the product, now you've also got seed funding and pre-series A funding. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
How easy was it to get the investors?
I think what we did, because we were experienced founders, we built the product until we thought we were ready to meet customers and investors. And so when we went to the market for seed round of funding, it was relatively quick. And I think investors identified with the problem even more. So we got what we're very thankful to have a very powerful set of angel investors backing us even in the seed round. And then in terms of institutions, we got a global institutions that has looked at over 400 investments, and Vulcan, which is Microsoft co-founders fund, they decided to back us, and East Ventures as well. So that's what happened with our seed round, and that happened in quick order. The pre-series A was a complete surprise to us. We were not looking for funding, we had just raised funding and we were building this, and we kind of, our product by definition presents itself to investors. Because we're building a product that investors will...
That's a hallmark of a good product.
Which the investors will experience, and therefore I think it was a preemptive fundraise. We got lucky and we saw like-minded investors coming in, and that's the pre-series A happened. And again, we managed to get very good set of institutions. All of our existing investors also supported the round, and we got some very reputed new angel investors as well. So that was just a testimony to the team and the product vision, and we're grateful for that, and the hard work lies ahead of us.
Yeah, but I also, the more I listen to you, I also realize that it is not just, of course, your phenomenal work that you've done in building team, launching product, getting investors, but it's also so many years of work, so many years of learning and insights that you bring to this.
The bee in the bonnet was how will the area where we worked our entire lives in finance, and we built careers over 15 to 20 years. At least two of the co-founders and three of our senior team members had all built their careers in finance, and we could all see an area where this was addressing multiple pain points that technology needs to solve in 2021. We can't be in 2021 where this was being managed the old way. And that kind of reinforced and will continue to drive us. The experience we've had working alongside founders, our customers, we've experienced this problem. We know that this is a problem in the system, and today technology can solve it. So, and that's kind of gave us the nudge.
I have to ask you, as a founder, if I had to say next 12 months, next 12, 15 months, if you had to say that, hey, I've really done well, but this product is doing well, right? Not you, of course, you will do well, but if the product is really doing well, what is this? Is there a benchmark that you put in your mind?
Yeah, the benchmark, there should be a large number of companies, there should be thousands of holders of equity. Today, every employee who has ESOP is an equity holder in a private company, and to treat them or think of them as something else is not fair. They're all owners of equity in private companies, and same goes for all investors, same goes for all companies. We would want tens of thousands of equity holders to have real-time information, access to their equity ownership on a system that's always available. Similarly, for people who manage this equity stack within organizations, your CFO, CHRO, the founder, they should have a tremendous amount of ease in actually dealing with ownership, which is so critical. You're talking about ownership of your company, your baby, and therefore you need to have full access to ownership of that system. So tens of thousands of equity holders using systems rather than paper and spreadsheets to identify and understand their ownership in systems, that would be the goal.
Wow. Now maybe I don't know if you want to divulge this or not, but I want to ask you, do you have customers right now?
Yeah, we over the last we hadn't gone and announced our customer numbers at the right time. We will, but we have over 100 companies actually sharing our data using our systems today.
Wow. Yeah. Very nice. This is so important for all of you, everyone watching, that you can do it. Lockdown, uncertainties, you can go ahead, get a team, find a team, build a product, launch a product, get customers and get investors. And Ravi today has shown that. Ravi, if I had to ask you, what has these last 18, because I know that you've been here, you've been away from your family, what has these last 18 months meant to you?
Yeah, I mean, so when we started 18 months ago, no one knew of the pandemic. So we were starting a company in the normal circumstances, I would like to think. And the challenges came along the way. The pandemic happened and we had to build. We were building something not for one market. Our vision was regional. This problem was unsolved in several large markets, India, Singapore, Indonesia. So the vision, the experience of the founders was across these markets. And so by definition, we needed multiple presence. From the start, we were not going after one market, we were going after a regional market. But the biggest challenge came in terms of getting people. We actually, so many of my teammates don't know how tall each other is because we've only interacted. We've not had the benefit of face-to-face interaction like this. But again, I think what worked for us is, as far as experienced hires goes, they identified with the problem. So it was actually, we were lucky to have several experienced professionals join us, and we have alumni from Goldman Sachs, Royal Bank of Scotland, Citibank investment bankers, ESOP companies. All of them actually proactively reach out to us and join the company, and that's on the finance side. We had several tech people join us, and we're building the tech remotely and distributed team. So we got lucky there, but I think the biggest challenge was more in terms of how do we kind of bring all of this together when we are in a distributed environment. And again, like I said, it's when a challenge presents itself as a founder, you have to figure out a way to solve the problem. So we didn't expect this problem. We weren't designed. It wasn't in the plans. We had to deal with it when it happened. And we're figuring out a way. I think we have to turn this challenge into a strength. That's how we look at this. And that's how the rest of the team looks at it. And I haven't met some of my colleagues. We've been working for a few months now.
Yeah, but I'm sure everyone must be so happy. Like everything is happening without meeting each other. Last question, last one or two questions. One is Capita, but you have Q in your Capita. Why? Is this some, what do you say, astrological thing to it?
No, we would have loved to have a Capita with a C, but we can't get that. We got a Q. I mean, we think of it as like, cap table with a Q, capital transaction with a Q, and that way it kind of allows us for longer term kind of branding and opportunity. And G is taken by Gmail, I is taken by somebody, E is taken by somebody. We said, why not Q? It is rarely used. That was the thinking. There's not a tremendous amount of thought process. We want something short and catchy and with the right thing. And curiosity with a Q is an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah. And last, if I had to say, because you brought everything together and you are shaping this along with your team, if you had to say Capita's purpose, like the purpose we exist and the purpose we've come together and we'll feel very purposeful about what we're doing, what would that be?
Yeah, there are two aspects to it. One, we would think we'll digitize equity stack. That's a business purpose. A greater purpose is actually to kind of, if you think about it at a fundamental level, all of this boils down, any entrepreneurship, all of this will also boil down to, how wealth is created, how wealth is managed, ESOPs, ownership in private companies. These are all ways in which people actually create value. If you think about it, Silicon Valley created a vast amount of wealth. Entrepreneurship ideas came because people started with ideas and doing this. So powering that enterprise, powering those ideas, powering that ownership, ultimately translating into wealth, and the wealth going back to pay back, and all of this gets managed on systems. We would like to think we are digitizing equity stack of that. Now UPI created a brilliant thing in India with payments. If we can build a stack that digitizes equity, and that kind of thing, everyone becomes an owner, everyone knows what it means to be an owner in a private enterprise, an idea, then that's I think the bigger purpose. I think we have the right team to go after that purpose.
Wow. Brilliant, brilliant. I request all of you to check out Capita with a Q, which Ravi and his team are going to own, and see how valuable it is and how you find it valuable. I think it's tremendously valuable and more importantly, very, very much needed for a lot of reasons. All the best, Ravi, and we look forward to having as many companies on your platform.
Thank you so much, and thanks. It's amazing we managed to do this interview despite the pandemic, and thanks a lot, and thanks for your kind words. Look forward to having more such conversations in the future when we have solved the problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.